Hi friends, and welcome back. I'm Gibby Kane, otherwise known as Mother of Monsters, and we're doing it again. Okay, so today we are covering line work. Foundation for literally any good art is your line work. It is so essential. What we need is crispy lines and good solid line weight. And that's going to indicate to the viewer how they need to perceive the image that you're creating for them. I know that probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's okay. I'm going to show you visually using a piece of my own original artwork and a few examples of tattoos that I have completed just as of last week. So don't worry, it's all gonna make a lot of sense. Some examples that you're gonna see this really well executed is definitely American Traditional. American Traditional relies heavily on a good, crispy, solid line, and usually there's not a distribution of line weight. Usually it's like one solid chosen line weight throughout the entire image, but that's okay. It's kind of like lends itself to the graphic look. Then you also have Neo-Traditional. Kind of different, focuses on a distribution of different line weights to sell the image. And then of course things like color realism, same thing. You're just getting more and more complicated as you go. Quick shout out to my co-pilot. So grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your vodka, I don't know, whatever you need to get focused and put on your thinking cap and absorb some learning. I don't know, is this better? I feel like this is a higher quality res image. We're doing things differently. You may have noticed that I have a microphone, so we're gonna have a little bit better sound. We're gonna have a better quality image for the money shot. This is my office. This is probably a better view of it, TBH. We love it. Maybe one day I will give you a tour. As of now, this is my cat. These are my 1950s intestines. That's my Elvira. That's my Elvira. Anywho, so let's get started. I'm going to meet you over at my drawing table. Hi. Okay, welcome to my desk. Let me walk you through some of how I treat creating a stencil for one of my clients' pieces. First thing I do is I tape everything together. I use like a super delicate surface painter's tape. It's very expensive, so I end up reusing pieces all the time, and I have like little chunks of it stuck to everywhere in my entire office. Because I'm always forgetting where those pieces are. But yes, I would recommend it. I have used it before when creating borders for like charcoal pieces, and it's not as delicate as you might think, and it definitely pulled some of the paper with it, but luckily it was just on the edge and not in any integral parts. And then I will tape down all of it to my light table, my light box thingy. I got it for like $100 off of Amazon, I think maybe less. I will try to drop a link to it below. It is super helpful. I like it. It's very thin. It's a little on the small side, but then so are most of the pieces I do, so no biggie. Something that you will want are some microns or just like pens of any kind. I'm a full proponent of getting the cheap knockoffs when you can. Here I'm gonna start with a super light, tiny, thin little marker. Like the point of it is basically so that it's in the background and it's not gonna be the first thing that your eye goes to, because it's gonna be so thin and it's gonna be so faint. That'll kind of make an illusion for it being tucked into the background and less obvious. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't feel like I'm very good at explaining things, but I'm going to really try. When I tattoo this, I'll probably use a really dark gray wash. as opposed to just using a black line. This way it kind of fades as it heals and will push it into the background even further. I like creating kind of like a misty look in my backgrounds. I think it's very satisfying. It's something that it's something that Alan Lee does a lot in his work, and I think it's really beautiful. If you've never checked out Alan Lee's work, you definitely should. He is the guy who worked with Brian Froud on the Book of Fairies and Trolls, and he also spearheaded a lot of the work for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Super talented. The idea with stencils is you don't really have to give yourself a ton of information. You just need to get down the bare bones, mostly because you have a copy of whatever it is that you are referencing in front of you, and you're just trying to get like the guidelines down. It's basically like a paint by numbers when you're tattooing. Future apprentices, this is something really useful for you. I would highly, highly, highly recommend creating something similar for your own portfolios, because I feel like it's going to really blow your future mentor out of the water with what it is that you already are coming to the table with as far as knowledge goes. Okay, so we're at a stopping point with that very thin little liner. Now we need to make some decisions for what we want the midground and foreground to be. The midground and foreground in this are so close to each other that it's possible they end up being kind of like the same thing. Sometimes when I go into it, I will choose a liner that is still on the thin side because I can always make it thicker. I can't make it thinner. So sometimes I'll just kind of get like some of the information that I know I want in there, but I'm not really sure where it falls on the spectrum. So that's kind of what's happening here with the skull. Okay, so we're pulling out a thicker liner because I know I want these plants to be more in the foreground and I want them to be really demanding more attention. What this is doing is it's tricking your eye into thinking that it's closer to you, and that's like how our caveman brains register information. Like we're basically looking for something, whether it's prey or it's a predator. Is this going to eat me or can I eat it? So that's what our eyes are constantly doing. We're constantly seeking. So when you're creating art, it's really no exception. I love teeth. Teeth are like, they're the best part of everything, anything. More teeth, more skulls, more skulls and teeth. All right. So these little whoop-de-doos, the little zits on my mushrooms, I want them to be really faint. I have like a whole trick that I want to apply to it. And basically in my mind, it's very hard to describe, but you'll see in the final version of this, I do end up tattooing this. And I have an example of what it looks like after this video here. But yeah, that's it. She cute. You can tell that there's a lot of different line weights, and in the end is going to make it a little bit more expensive and a little more exciting. And I think that this is so easy to do for your own work, and I think you should all be doing it because it's so fun. Okay, that's all she wrote. I will see you back at my desk. So I hope that was helpful. The truth is, it's going to take a while. If it's something that's new to you, that's okay. Don't feel bad. Because I think that you're basically going to be like studying line work for the rest of your life as an artist. I think that's like a given. Certain mediums are more forgiving. Like if you were to do graphite or charcoal painting, those are things that you can kind of like hide that, bury it a little bit, which is fantastic if it's something that's not your strength. If you are looking to become a tattoo artist, which it sounds like a lot of you who follow me are definitely considering it. First of all, you can't go wrong. It's an amazing line of work. I love it. But line work is essential. You need to get really, really, really good with it. And don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's okay. Maybe practice. Not maybe. No, you should definitely practice. Practice. And focus on using microns or like whatever kind of felt tip pens that you may have. Just like focus on getting really clean execution of lines. Or you have your tablet. There's also a good option. I personally don't use a tablet because I suck. There's no reason. I spent $1,300 on a MacBook Pro and now I'm stuck with it, and a Wacom tablet that I have like almost a decade-long experience of using, having been corporate as a photo editor. So now, like, it's like, why learn one more skill? I don't know. Anyways, not important. Something that might also help is take a recent drawing, a recent sketch from your sketchbook, and take some vellum, some tracing paper, some Strathmore, some rice paper, a lot of options out there in this world. You can Amazon it, you can go to your local craft store, put it on top, sit there, trace it over and over and over again until it gets to a point where you really like it. And remember that distribution of line weight. Use those thinner lines in the background, midground slightly thicker, foreground give those thick lines because we love a thick, juicy line. A great strategy I would recommend is also study some American traditional. What? You need a poo? Oh, okay. I don't know where I was. I don't remember what I was talking about, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, so those of you who follow my Instagram also know that I've made kind of a transition. I'm not going to be posting really anymore to my Instagram account. I mean, I'll be in my stories occasionally, but the truth is I'm just not really getting like very good traction that's consistent. And for me, it's a lot of time, and it's not like it doesn't pay me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, why am I spending time and resources on something that's not giving me like any real return? Like I love the interactions that I get, and I love all the people that I've met, and I've made a lot of clients through Instagram, so no shade, but Like, I just feel like there's a lot of people I talk to who are like, oh, I don't see your posts. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. But they see my stories, which is nice. So like, I have immediate contact. And if you want to see what's going on in my day-to-day, like see the tattoos that I'm completing real time, please feel free, give me a follow on Instagram at GibbyKane. But don't be surprised if you literally never see me post again, because I'm so fucking sick of it. Plus, also, I'm pretty sure it's killing our society, like, slowly. Like, it's sad. Anyways, enough of that tangent. So yeah, I'm gonna be focusing a lot more of my energies on making YouTube videos, vlogs, and tutorials for you guys, and I'm very, very excited. I feel much more refreshed by the idea and much more energetic about my whole process and what it is that I choose to do with my time. So moving forward, expect more of that. If you have any requests, anything that you'd like to see me create for you, please feel free to drop it in the comments. I would love to stay entertaining for everybody and give you guys the good stuff. So anyways, without further ado, let's answer some questions. Harley Quinn asked, thank you so much for this video. I never even thought of getting my first aid training before I even started my apprenticeship. I do have a question. Did you feel the need to force yourself to add any styles you feel you weren't your strong suit, like adding new school art when it's not something you like or are skilled in? Well, here's the thing, Harley Quinn. Baby girl, how much you want to make? Like, real talk. I live in an area where there's a lot of different interests, and you have to be capable of them in order to make really good money. And I'm a little bit greedy. So for me, it was like, art is art, fuck it, why not? I'll just learn like whatever style I'm not super comfortable with and just get comfortable with it, you know what I mean? So for me, it just felt like the next step, like in my metamorphosis as a tattoo apprentice, as a wannabe tattoo artist. I think the spot where it gets really complicated is what you present in your apprenticeship portfolio, right? That's like, I think, the question that you're asking. So I didn't really have anything in like a new school style because it's not something I'm very good at. But I wanted to demonstrate a lot of different things that I was good at, that I was willing to get better at. And that kind of fell on the back burner because I was looking to meet a deadline, basically. Like, I really wanted to get my apprenticeship rolling as quickly as possible so that I could get to a place where I was making money again. And I had just recently quit my job, like a year ago, basically this August. Instead of making good on the 2 weeks notice that I had handed in, they told me, that's great, today's your last day, and enjoy this like 2-week paid vacation of never talking or getting closure with us. And I said, wow, that was a really shitty thing to do to me, but I'm gonna take all of that frustration, all that pain, and all that like definite deep depression that came from that, and I just applied it to my art. So I sat there and I sat at the kitchen table and I was just cranking out art like nonstop. And I was like, what's good enough to be in the portfolio? What's not strong enough? What's demonstrating a different skill that could be applicable? And certain styles never made it, but because it was coming from such a heartfelt place, I felt that that was something that didn't necessarily matter. Having gone through as much as I have now in my apprenticeship, looking back, I think it's fine because those are things that if you're really serious about, you're gonna get education in it. Like at a certain point, apprenticeships take a while, like minimum a year, right? So like you have all that time ahead of you. It's okay. I don't think you need to get hung up in the weeds about having like all of your bases covered. I think you should definitely focus on things that are important, like definitely get your line work down, which I hope that today's video helps with that, and focus on making your stencils. Like demonstrate that you understand what it takes to make a good stencil, and just concern yourself with making really good art. Like do your best, make it make it come from a really important place, because there's so much out there. There's so much crap out there. There's so much talent out there. Holy shit. But there's also a lot of crap, and it's like so much of it just gets churned out and then just ignored. And that's also kind of a reason why I'm not that like keen on a lot of social media anymore, because it's so like, you don't really get to like love it. You don't get to sit there and think like, wow, that's really beautiful, because it's not like in front of you in a magazine or a book. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a death scroll, and you just forget it almost immediately. So focus on what's important to you, and don't worry too much about having a lot of different diversity. It's okay to be focused in what you like. A lot of my shit was like monsters, so, you know, it works. I had some like flowers and shit in there, but you know what I mean. Just have fun with it. Don't worry about it. Your humor and personality shows in your work. Love it. Thank you. Appreciate it. I think it's okay to have like a sense of humor about the work you create. Not everything has to be super serious. Like, sometimes it's just a zombie with the skin falling off. That's cool too. What's the name of the portfolio you got there off of Amazon? Thank you and love the content. Fuck. I will drop a link. How about this? I will drop a link in down below with what looks like the one that I got, and I'm pretty sure they're all the same. Like, they're just like the discount like plastic replaceable like sheet. The only thing that I would say that you might want to do as opposed to what I did, which is I got the cheap one, which didn't come with any paper in the sleeves. I would almost recommend finding and paying extra for the one with that, because I had to like go out and get construction paper, and then like I could only use the white and black ones. So I had to like pull them all out, and then I had to like cut them down to be the right size. And then now I'm kind of paying for it, because now I have all these stencils, and I use it at the shop now as like a reference to stencils that I have available and some designs I've already done, which makes it like more interactive for clients and more useful, as opposed to just collecting dust, as I'm already in my apprenticeship and don't really need an apprenticeship portfolio anymore. I'm so efficient. So anyway, just started building my portfolio to hopefully land an apprenticeship as well. Spent a good chunk of my early adult life chasing what you were chasing, money, stability, blah, blah, blah. Started bouncing jobs and finally said fuck it, picked up a pencil and haven't looked back since. Keep up the great vids. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And yeah, I have talked about my experiences previously as corporate scum. And it's so weird now, because it's coming up on my anniversary of having quit that lifestyle. And I feel so like weird about it. Like, I feel it's hard to describe. It's like getting out of an abusive relationship that like now you know yourself, and now you're realizing that like, wow, I like really put myself through a lot of that hell, like by staying, and I really didn't need to, and I don't know why, but like emotions are complicated and human beings are fraught with conflict. But what I can say is that eventually here, probably this August, I'll come out with a vlog and talk a little bit more about like my emotions about the whole thing, because right now I think I'm still processing a lot of them. And truth be told, it sounds like a lot of you are in a similar boat. I remember like binging these kinds of videos on YouTube when I was in corporate still, and I was sitting there, I'd be like working through a batch of images as a retoucher, which if you don't know what that is, you're like the bad guys of the internet and everything is photoshopped, even if you think it isn't. So that was me. I did that. Paying for my sins still. Anyways, it's complicated. And I remember watching those videos and thinking like, oh, this is so soothing for me. Like being able to live through those conversations and then just fantasizing about like what my life could be. Yeah, so I'm really glad. all in all at this time that I'm doing what I'm doing now because it's so much better and I feel so much better about myself and my contributions to society, and also like how much more fun every day is. Like I don't have the Sunday scaries, mostly because I'm off on Mondays, which is one way to kind of beat the system. But anyways, let me acknowledge what you said. Good for you. First of all, you can do it. I believe in you, and you will find success, because if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And I think that you can do anything that you want to in this life if your heart is in the right place and you love what you're doing. This one was from a really long time ago, and I genuinely have no idea if I even acknowledged this, and to that I'm very, very sorry. When I started this YouTube account, I didn't know if anybody would even like give a shit, and it's weird because everybody's really excited. So there's a few that fell through the cracks because I like basically didn't check any of my stats for like 6 months, and then I was talking to my husband and he was like, you know, you got like 5K views on that one video, and I was like, when? So making up for lost time, I'm very sorry. So let me acknowledge what you said just in case. This resonates with me. I'm 26 and I also like to draw, but I just finished my bachelor's in pre-med. I no longer want to be a doctor. Anyways, I think I'm just gonna keep working at the hospital and grinding my art skills for a bit till I feel ready, assuming I muster the discipline first and foremost to actually improve. Scatterbrained. Thanks for the video. I'll use it as a reminder to keep chugging along. P.S. Glad you're doing your thing now. By the way, your monster drawings are pretty nasty, yo. Thanks, bro. You can do it. And here's the secret. There's never the right time. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing. Basically, your goal is to enjoy your life because there's no guarantee of anything that comes after. So if you feel like you're wasting your time and you're highly motivated to do something else, especially if it's art, you should do it. Even if it's in every waking moment of your spare time, you should do it. You should totally do it, because some things in life are more important. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. The cat appreciates it as well. We all appreciate it. And yeah, so you know what to do. Smash the like button and subscribe. Check me out on my other videos. I've got some Apprenticeship 101 videos. I've got a portfolio tour if you're looking to be an apprentice. I've got some great advice on that video that I've already covered. And also, if you are also corporate scum and you're looking to get out of the rat race, I've got a video for you. It's very personal and very emotional. I'm not gonna go into details over it because it is still hard for me to think about, but you can watch it all on your own. And yeah, if you have any advice, if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts or ideas about what you'd like to see covered in the next one, go ahead and comment below and I will address it in the next video for sure. And yeah, let me know what you think of this new art ASMR and tell me what you think about how soothing my voice is. What else am I missing? I think that's about it. I think the next one I'm gonna do a tour of my station at the shop, and he doesn't know it yet, but I'm gonna try to convince my mentor to give me an interview. Not sure how he's gonna feel about that. We'll see. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with me and watching. I really appreciate it. It's like crazy to me that anybody even like is at all interested in what I have to say, but it makes me feel very special. And yeah, I will see you next time.